Big bro, like I need a shoulder to lean on me, need one too. Know it's all good, got me and I got you. Look at your son like mine, and I know you got Ava too. We gon' make it through this damn game, damn shame how we struggling. Reminisce about good times, cracking jokes to crack a smile. Pop keeping our head up, baby getting our bread up. Shit just a slow process. You got this envy, this won't let you befriend me. You with me, you my brother, like you came from my mother. Know that through this struggle, as we climbing out of this rubble, as we battling with this devil. This shit ain't battling color, this shit is about survival. Fighting for your soul, open up those eyes. Can't see no lines, zoned out and I'm buzzing. Tight knit with my cousins, more than him when it's game time. Why? Cause I got levels. You too, stand your ground, not rip it. Tear it up, not split it. From me to you, we feel it.
Things done change, done change.
Can't expect shit to remain the same.
Still goddamn, a nigga fucked up in these times. Things done change, done change.
Can't expect shit to remain the same.
Still goddamn, a nigga fucked up in these times.
What's going on? What's going on? How y'all feeling today? I came in, I'm entering with the song These Times. That is a song by myself. I go by Nietzsche lyrically, as well as Diamond Martinez. My name is CD, short for Cristino Diaz, and I'm bringing awareness to a 41-page business plan for a new after-school program called the Child Educational and Recreational Advancement Center, or the EdRec Center, right? I apologize for some of the curse words in the song. I forgot that those are in it, honestly. Try to keep it clean. I try to keep it clean. I want to start the podcast off by saying this. Number one, because I always like to start with myself, right? Because true change starts with self, right? Starts with you, working on yourself as an individual. So I am working on myself. And so I want to comment on the glasses. For those of you who know me personally, maybe asking, why do I wear glasses, right? So I want to ask you a question. Why did Superman wear glasses? Superman didn't need glasses. He's Superman, right? Clark Kent wore the glasses, but Clark Kent is Superman, or was Superman, whatever, right? Why do business representatives wear suit and ties? Why don't they just wear white tees and blue jeans? Why do rappers wear urban clothing? Why don't they wear suit and ties? Why do women feel sexier in high heels? It may be a more fit dress. That's why I wear glasses. All right, so moving past that, now that we got that out the way, all right? Practice what you preach, okay? So I want to, real quick, once again, I like to start with myself. These are a couple of the accomplishments or the certifications that I obtained during my incarceration period. This is a certificate via Child Inc. Certifies that I have achieved training and excellence in family support and parent education, right? Also, a certificate of completion from boot camp, which is a drug rehabilitation course that's very similar to military boot camp. We're up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Boots got to be shined. Got to be a nice crease in your jeans. You go outside. You run about 2 miles. If you act up, you hold the sandbag out for however long the drill captain tells you to hold it. You follow these rules and guidelines, or you do not graduate the program, and you go back to jail. All right. I did graduate the program, but then unfortunately I violated my probation, and I went back to jail anyway. But anyway, all right, so that's some of the things that I've done to rehabilitate myself. I also do this currently. This is Celebrate Recovery. It's a Christian-based rehabilitation program essentially not so much for drugs. It can be for drugs and alcohol, but also for to overcome relationships, to overcome mental things that you've gone through in your life, mental challenges you've gone through. If you see me pointing things to the left, it's because I'm also recording for my YouTube podcast. Check out my YouTube channel, Our EdRec Center Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. So this is another thing that I do currently to help me to continue, because rehabilitation is a constant thing, right? It's not just you go to rehab or you get help and it's done with. No, it's a consistent thing. You have to remain consistent, right? So this is something that I do now to follow up on what I've already built upon, okay? I also want to touch on one thing. I was getting bad headaches for a while, right? Really bad headaches, splitting headaches. One day I even had to check into the emergency room because the splitting headache was so bad. I did drink hard alcohol the night before because I had lost a close friend of mine, which wasn't a good idea. But something that I haven't gotten headaches for a very long time. I cut out some bad habits, including smoking cigarettes. And I've also been taking this. This is oil of oregano from Pharmacy for Life. That's with an F. Pharmacyfor, Life, right? Healing salve. The healing salve you kind of just rub on your body wherever you feel pain, whatever. Oil of oregano. Also, we have here black seed oil, right? You take like a capful a day or 2 capfuls a day, preferably with a meal. And Irish sea moss. Good stuff. I'm not saying that this is the only reason why I don't have headaches anymore, but this, along with the Celebrate Recovery Counseling, to calm my thoughts, because I'm a heavy thinker, I guess you can attribute to the headaches dissipating, right? So I'm feeling a lot better. I do drink red wine now. This is Cabernet Sauvignon by Robert Mondavi. I suggest everybody go get their alcohol now, because as of the next calendar year, due to the new tariffs that Trump put out, alcohol is going up. The cost of alcohol is going up 25%. That's for the purchasers. So for you, it might go up 40% to 60-something%. So go get your alcohol now before you can't afford it. All right. Today, the subject I want to touch on is obviously my business plan, but I always like to correlate my business plan to something relative within our community, because my business plan is literally built off of social, cultural, and mental health issues within our community, right? So I'm reading an article. I pulled up an article talking about a PTA board member named Joan Terrell Page, who commented on the Jersey City shooting. If you don't know about the Jersey City shooting, because you're not in the New Jersey, New York area, there was a mass shooting in Jersey City, New Jersey, with 2 individuals who decided that they were tired of, I guess, Jews trying to buy their real estate up or pressure them into selling their house, and took it out on them by basically shooting the kosher market. I believe it was more of a suicide attempt. The 2 didn't want to live anymore, and their way of going out was to go out by the police killing them. But they justified it by saying that, basically attacking Jews, right? So this board member says that, and I quote, "Where was all this faith and hope when black homeowners were threatened, intimidated, and harassed by 'I want to buy your house' brutes of Jewish community," with a question mark. This is via Joan Terrell Page. She also said they brazenly came on the property of Ward F. black homeowners and waved bags of money, right? Then she goes on to state, "If we are going to tell a narrative, it should begin with the truth, not more cover-up of the truth." So that was her view, or her stance. And I don't want to say that was her indefinite stance. I believe she was more maybe aggravated at the time, and because she did take the post down immediately, but CNN and other media broadcasts got a hold of it and commented on it, right? So the reason why I disagree with her, I'm not disagreeing with the fact that, yes, I do believe that blacks typically, and how Latinos or minorities are it's rougher on us, right? In our communities and outside our communities and just in society, period. It is harder for us, right? I do agree with that. But what I don't agree with is any type of justification for any type of violence. R.I.P. Martin Luther King, right? Do you know why he did his peaceful marches, protests, even when faced with violence? Because two wrongs do not make a right. And at some point, somebody has to be the bigger man. Somebody has to rise above the violence and show that they are the bigger person. That's why I believe he did his protests peacefully. Even when they were hosed down with water, beaten by the police, shot, whatever, arrested, burned their houses down, threw bricks through their windows. Even during peaceful protests, they remained peaceful with a purpose because they wanted to show that they were bigger than the individuals who decided to take a more violent approach, right? And I commend Martin Luther King for that because due to those peaceful protests, it brought awareness to the statement that he was trying to make, that minorities deserve the same rights as whites in America. And it worked. And today, we can ride on the bus in the front, in the back, in the middle. Today, we can drink from the same water fountains. Today, we can vote. Today, we had a black president. When I say today, I mean in these times. We had a black president. We almost had a woman president. White, Hispanic, and black. Right? Not to say we won't have a black or Hispanic president now during this next democratic race or whatever, presidential race. So his plan worked effectively because he stayed the course. He made a decision, a conscious decision, and he stayed the course. And I agree with his decision because violence only leads to more violence. So why do I disagree with her post? Because number one, it goes against what Martin Luther King did, and his method was effective. Somebody has to be the bigger person. Number two, I believe those two individuals who performed that Jersey City shooting, who were black, by the way, which is embarrassing, but I believe they had a mental health disorder. They were depressed, more than likely. They were probably lonely and felt cast out by their society, and they didn't know any other way to deal with it. They didn't get the proper help, and they wanted to die, but they didn't want to kill themselves. So instead, they went out shooting and allowed the police to kill them. That's what I believe really happened. I don't think it had anything to do with Jews or any of this other stuff. It had to do with something deeper, probably something that occurred earlier on in their life. And we'll get to that in these articles that will prove or back what I'm trying to say. All right. But first, all right, Obama, in the biggest role of leadership as a minority, faced with extreme prejudice, right, conducted himself professionally. Unlike some of our other presidents. And I'm not going to say any names. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. Okay? And he's not even a minority. Why did he do that? Why did Barack Obama remain professional in the face of the most adverse situation possible in the highest level of the world? Why did he do that? I believe he did that because he understood that his decisions and the actions that he took not only affected him and his direct family and reflected upon him and his direct family, but it also affected and reflected upon his people, his peers. Because if he acted like Trump did in the office, how would that make us look? How harder would that make it for us on our daily jobs, in our daily societies, in our daily communities? Extremely hard. And I thank Obama for that. Because we don't need any more pressure on us that's already on us. We don't need any more pressure. And this Jersey City shooting put more pressure on us. And honestly, it's an embarrassment what these two clowns did. And I'm going to call them clowns because that's what they are. They shot a police officer for pulling them over and then went on to shoot a kosher market, killing another 3 Jews and injuring others, which causes medical bills. So somebody's probably tied down by medical bills in the middle of a holiday season when they already were broke. Somebody's burying their father, that cop that they shot, that's somebody's father, somebody's husband, somebody's brother, somebody's cousin, somebody's uncle. That's not cool. Because that also may have caused a mental health disorder within that family of that police officer. To that police officer's partner or his comrades, his peers. There are also black police officers. So what he did also directly affected his people. Moving on. Why is this personal for me? I've lost family members and friends to violent acts prematurely in their life. That's why it's personal for me. That police officer could have been my father, could have been my uncle, could have been my cousin. Those people in that kosher market could have been my father, could have been my uncle. Maybe if the individuals who killed my close friend a couple weeks ago, who killed my aunt and raped her a couple years ago, right? Who killed a lot of other friends of mine, which a lot of them were black on black crimes, right? I'm not going to sit here in front. Maybe if those people got the proper mental health assistance when they needed it, they would have realized that taking another person's life wasn't the proper course of action. And I would still have my good friends. I would still have my aunt. So that's why it's personal for me. Violence only leads to violence. Love, not hate, America. Love, not hate. All right? How the Jersey City shooting relates to my business plan. I already talked about how I believe both parties were going through a mental health issue, and that led to the shootings, right? And I also believe if they got the proper assistance in a timely manner, the shooting could have been avoided, right? Enter the EdRec Center. I want to read an article, right? This is actually my my fourth revision of my business plan, but it incorporates an article, all right? So, here's my program. The program is not an overnight success plan. The program nor its administrators also do not guarantee any specific level of success educationally to our members or their parents. What the program does seek to accomplish is to have our graduating members be more self-secure, self-sufficient, self-thinkers, whom are culturally aware as well as self-aware. These are important qualities many of our youth fail to ascertain. EdRec members, after a single month, I believe, will substantially gain from its structure. Still, we recommend parents allow their children to be enrolled in the program as early as possible while keeping them in the program at least 4 years. This is the plausible timeline to yield effective program results. While this is what we approximate will drive the best results, we do believe any stretch of time spent in our program will yield positive results. Company assets. We will assist in providing guidance and structure to those children who either lack such and or need assistance. By showing our children that their hard work in school as well as this program is not only rewarding, it is exhilarating, right? I just want to cover up the screen because it's causing a glare in my glasses, and I want to relieve that glare. All right, there we go. Perfect. So you guys can see my eyes. One of my members commented that they like to see my eyes, right? I have the backdrop because my bed ain't made. All right, anyway. They will also be equipped with more responsible problem-solving capabilities, as to be properly equipped to handle life's hard roads ahead. According to colleague Dumigan, College at Brockport, a study was done on 4 students with behavioral issues in school that was preventing academic acceleration. The intent of this study was to ascertain if individual counseling can be used as an intervention to help those students who have continual problematic disciplinary issues. The literature review is presented and discusses the possible outside influences to behavioral issues. Similarly, this study examines if counseling can be an effective intervention for the students who receive multiple disciplinary referrals within a school year, but have not yet received individual counseling. So what they're trying to say is they want to incorporate counseling, into their schedule of these students and conduct a study to see if it also residuates in their academic excellence. All right. Colleague Dubingen of the college at Brockport, State University of New York, went on to write, within the study, 4 students brought parental consent forms and signed minor assent forms in compliance to complete this sex session study. Students were given a pre-test at their first session and a post-test at their last session. These test results were used as a means of self-report for the students to see if they could identify their feelings, attitude, and areas of need before and after the intervention. Student disciplinary records were examined before and after the study as means to objectively view if the intervention may have been successful. Results supported the claim that counseling can be used as an effective intervention with this population. Both the participants' self-report and disciplinary record proved that counseling was an effective way to minimize disciplinary referrals and aid in student self-awareness and coping skills. Many children and teens have problems that affect how they feel, act, or learn. Therapy is a type of treatment for these problems. It is a way to get help for your child. In therapy, kids talk and learn how to work out their problems. Going to therapy helps them cope better, communicate better, and do better overall. Okay? Now, how does that relate to my business plan? Well, here we go. Upon multiple altercations within the EdRec Center, both the initiator as well as parties involved shall lose privileges. Both parties will proceed to advance through sex session counseling. Upon completion of such, approval of counselor as well as the board, there will be a board of trustees, and approval of the board after these events, we view and we will allow these members to go back into their extracurricular activities. So the extracurricular activities will include, in my facility anyway, batting cages, gymnastics facility, dance studio, swimming pool, indoor live gaming arena. You can lose access to these facilities because in order to gain access to these facilities, you're going to have to swipe your member card to access that level of the elevator, and or the swimming pool will be on the main level. You will have to access that swimming pool via your membership card. It also refrains from non-members accessing these areas and having access to the children or coming in direct access, what do you want to say? You get it, with the children, right? So it basically separates the children from the outside community because we're working on something within the EdRec Center, all right? We will not aim to punish or penalize children for these actions. We look to assist them in thinking through what is really bothering them. The real problem wasn't that you got crossed up on a basketball court. You were upset when you walked onto the basketball court. Getting crossed up just further ignited what your root problem really was. We want to get to what the root problem was when you stepped onto the basketball court that ignited the fight while playing basketball, right? You got to cut the head off the snake to kill it. If you cut the tail off, what happens? If you cut the tail off a snake, what happens? It grows back. The snake never dies. It just crawls into a hole and it waits until it heals. If you cut the head off a snake, it dies immediately. All right. According to the National Alliance of Mental Illness, 1 in 5 young people ages 13 to 18 have or will have a serious mental illness in their life. And half of all lifetime cases of mental illnesses start by age 14. This positive introduction of counseling at the age at which the EdRec Center proposes to have its members, which is the ages of 9 to 20, looks to pick up on these mental disorders or issues that the children are going through while they're at their premature state, as to circumcise them or to allow the child to heal before it becomes a long-term issue within the child's life that they do not know how to resolve, and therefore lead to another Jersey City shooting, another shooting at the Baptist church by the white boy that shot up the Baptist church, right? You didn't see anybody coming out saying the white boy was justified by shooting up the Baptist church, right? Because the black and Latino communities would have went bonkers. NCAA would have been all over that guy, right? So when you point a finger, how does the saying go? 4 point back at you, right? I think it's 3 though, honestly. I don't know how it's 4 because the thumb doesn't really point back at you. It kind of points to the side. But anyway, that's the saying. When you point a finger, 4 point back at you, right? So we can't justify these black people who shot up a kosher market and not justify a white boy who shot up a Baptist church. We just can't do that, y'all. I don't think that Mrs. Page should specifically lose her job, but I think she should be pulled aside and talked to and make sure that she's in a good mental state to continue her job progressively and positively in the way that is expected of her. Because that post doesn't really reflect a good mental state for an individual in a leadership role, which I can also say about our president, but whatever. All right. Moving on. So, next, I'm going to read an article from the Children's Bureau. All right. Having a male mentor was associated with higher earnings for fatherless youth compared to having no natural mentor at all, whereas the same was not true of female mentors. The journal continues the discussion by explaining that there is enough probable evidence to conclude that male markets, job skills, career options, social values, family functioning, and buffers against environmental and societal risks can be provided by male mentors serving as proxies for absent fathers or, at the very least, mimickers of the content that would have been provided by them. By them, they mean by the father. As stated by the researchers themselves, their presence may provide fatherless youth with a positive male role model who can fulfill some of the roles left by the absent father, such as guidance in social settings, e.g., school. Meaningful experiences that lead to educational and occupational mobility and prevention of engagement in risky behaviors. Therefore, it would be beneficial for communities to draw on the results of these studies to create an effective bridge in the previously mentioned service gap for the target population. Youth from single-parent, female-headed households would benefit greatly from a male mentorship or other programs that would focus primarily on instilling life skills. Overall, when children and teens have a strong relationship with their own fathers or a father figure, they experience better outcomes as a whole. This is an article from Children's Bureau, printed 2019. Not my words, their words. My program, their words. My program is effective. Most people are going to ignore my program because most people want to ignore the fact that they might need counseling. And that is your prerogative. That is the great thing about America, is that is your freedom. But if you truly want to be a well-rounded individual, you must first work on yourself. Because no one's going to love someone who doesn't love themselves. All right. So for starters, research has repeatedly shown that the benefits of a positive father relationship on a daughter's mental health are undeniable. In fact, the results of a recent study, 2018, demonstrated that close ties with fathers help daughters overcome loneliness. Loneliness in women, I'm not a woman, so men, we different. We react different to loneliness. I don't feel lonely. You know what I'm saying? I feel good when I'm by myself. I actually like being by myself because people kind of get on my nerves. But women, they like the comfort of what I gather anyway. They like the comfort of people. So loneliness may affect women in different ways, such as depression, anxiety. An article about the 2 Jersey City shooting members stated that the woman, it was a male and a woman, the woman was feeling lonely and smoked several cigarettes and always wondered why she could never find a companion. And she found this guy, and they died together hand in hand, going out in a blaze of glory. So, anyway. As Candy Lawson wrote in the Center for Development and Learning article of January 1st, 2003, school is not only a place where children learn reading, writing, and math, it is also a place where they learn to get along with other people and develop social skills. The children who have the most social difficulty at school are those that are rejected by their peers. Other children really don't like them and may not treat them well. Rejected children are those that are picked on, laughed at, talked about, teased, and bullied. I wasn't one of those kids in school, to be honest. I wasn't popular, but I definitely wasn't picked on or bullied. It was just, I ain't had no enemies. I had a lot of friends, I guess, if you want to call them friends. I would call them acquaintances if in relevance to where I'm at today mentally, in my thought process, they were more acquaintances. But back then, I would have called them all friends. You know what I'm saying? So, they are widely disliked, these children who are picked on and bullied. Excluded from activities and may be ostracized by their peers. I would also like to quote an article by Erica Hoffman from Mental Health First Aid blog of May 21st, 2017. In a nation facing a crisis, this is Erica Hoffman's words, not mine, people. In a nation she's talking about our nation, by the way. In a nation facing a crisis in care for people with mental illnesses and addictions, widespread training in mental health first aid for every American increases the chance that people will get the initial support they need and crisis can be averted. Wow. Look at that. That was Erica Hoffman's words, not mine. She's a professional. I'm not. In this field, anyway. So, I say all that to say that, and you already heard the business plan of the EdRec Center. The essential roots will also incorporate a EdRec daycare center for ages 1 to 5 years old, where we will assist in potty training for mothers who either want to get back to work because they're a single mother, or they want to get back to work because, they want to help their husband out with the financial needs of the household to take less stress and strain off of him. Do you guys know that stress can cause high blood pressure? High blood pressure can cause death. You guys know that? So it might be in the benefit to help your husband out so he doesn't get stressed out with bills, right? It might be in a benefit to help your husband out because did you guys also know that financial strain within households is one of the leading causes of divorce and breakups? So the EdRec Center is just trying to help out in every facet of life. I'm just the founder. I won't be running the actual building. It'll be run by professionals. The board will consist of a PTA board, a member of the local county, which is why I mentioned Mrs. Page, because she worked on the PTA board in Jersey City. So that brought awareness to me that, hypothetically speaking, if the EdRec Center were ever built, which it may not ever be because I don't think anyone wants to address their mental health issues. I don't think anyone even wants to accept that they have them. But that's fine. But hypothetically speaking, if it were to be built, I would want to be more aware or cautious of who I hire on my board to make sure that they are going to always look out for the best interests of every member, regardless of their race, color, creed, religious beliefs, or background. Because that's the whole point of the program, to bring people together as a society, as a nation, to bring people together as individuals, as self-thinkers, to make them more self-secure and ready to tackle life's tasks in the EdRec Center and when they graduate from the EdRec Center to go on to be adults. Okay. Also, I'm trying to do research into a possible overnight daycare and whether that can be done or not. Because a couple of parents, while I go out and get my paper petition signatures, stated that they work overnight. And I can relate to that because what about a single father who's raising his son or daughter by themselves? A lot of men work overnight, so they might need a babysitter overnight, and they want somewhere that they can trust. And I want the EdRec Center to be somewhere that they can trust. The rest of my board members, I get a little sidetracked. So the PTA member, the PTA board member, a representative of the PTA board of the local county of the EdRec Center. It's a countywide program. Also, a banker to look out for the financial needs of the facility, right? local member of the Chamber of Commerce of that county or counties, right? Lawyer to look out for the law aspect of the EdRec Center, and I like to call him a head counseling administrator, professor, preferably in sociology or psychology, right? And those will be the 5 board members that will make the decisions for the EdRec Center after it's founded. So the decisions as far as changes that need to be made, adjustments, will be made by those 5 board members, not me, or not any other franchise owner. It will be made by the board members, and each franchise will have its own board members. Okay? So that's the idea. That's the concept. So for you who think that this is, I'm just clowning off. I'm not clowning off. I actually have a business plan. So here's my business plan. I'm approximating $42 million. I'm going to take my business plan to be reviewed by professionals, MBA professionals, as well as financiers and tax people, to look into the relevance of my number. I didn't just grab this number out the sky. I actually did research into everything that's incorporated into my facility, employment costs, taxes, the whole kit and caboodle, right? I work in construction, so I have a relative idea of how to size a building and stuff like that. And literally, and also incorporates so I'll read right from the business plan. As to build and maintain monthly assets and payroll throughout initial calendar year until establishment becomes self-sufficient. How long before the establishment becomes self-sufficient? I'm actually approximating more towards 4 years, but my business plan is saying that after about the 2nd year, it'll be at least self-sufficient. So if you look here, right, my sales and marketing channels are social media, which is what I'm doing, word of mouth, paper petition day, PTA meetings, haven't gotten there yet, commercial advertisement, haven't gotten there yet. I'm a minority, people, so grabbing these other avenue, and a minority who doesn't directly work in sociology or media field, right? I work in construction, right? So it's way out of my realm of expertise, what I'm doing here. It's definitely stepping out of my comfort box. So for me, I'm tackling an elephant, right, with a net, right, by myself. A fishing net. So not an easy task, but I'm a resilient individual, and I have faith in myself, in my nation, and in the people within my nation, that eventually one day my podcast will reach the right ears, and maybe I'll get that email or phone call. But anyway, so if you look here, this is the revenue that we will bring in. The first year I'm projecting $30.6 million. 2nd year, $48.3 million. 3rd year, $57 million. And that's incorporating a 5% increase annually. The membership cost is $300 a month. I know you're like, whoa, $300 a month. But how much is peace of mind worth? How much is your financial state worth? Because what we look to do is also assist in college placement. And you just heard the article about how being mentally stabilized or having the proper mental health counseling can also reflect upon academic excellence, which maybe can reflect upon you getting an academic grant. Everybody can't play academic sport. Everybody can't play sports, basketball, football, baseball, and get that scholarship, right? Everybody ain't athletic like that. But I believe there's more intellectual individuals than are receiving academic grants and scholarships. We just have to help them get past the mental hurdles that they're going through growing up in divided house homes or whatever else is going on in their life in order to get to that academic excellence, to get them that grant and scholarship. The EdRec Center. How does that grant or scholarship help you as a parent? You don't have to pay for their college education. Or at least not all of it. So you save money. Your kid goes to a good college. They progress. They're mentally stabilized. That projects upon their children. Hopefully they're able to have a more sound household, which reflects upon the children positively. And eventually maybe they don't have to go to the EdRec Center. Maybe they just want to go because of the extracurricular activities. Because I think we have some really fun extracurricular activities. Live gaming arenas, indoor batting cages, gymnastics facility, right? Dance studio, swimming pool, all in one building. Computer library, all in one building. Health is Wealth EdRec Eats Cafe, non-GMO chicken, blend of the day with organic veggies and fruits, all in one building. an affordable menu to eat all in one building? Where else you going to get that? You're not getting that at the YMCA. You're not getting that at the Goddard School. What you're doing is you're paying for your kid to go to the Goddard School during the school year. And then when they get out of school, you're paying for them to go to the YMCA in the summertime. And then when they get sick of the YMCA or it becomes bored, then you're paying for them to go to Camp Youth Development. Then they get older and that's childish. So then you're paying for them to go to youth sports program. Instead of just investing in one place. I like to call it the Walmart of after school programs. How much money are you really spending? $300 a month is a lot. But how much are you spending on paying for your child to go to 3 different after school programs with 3 different kids? As opposed to just paying for one after school program for 3 different kids. Right? Beyond that, at least you know what you're getting out of your $300 a month. More than just the after school program. You're getting a future for your child. All right. Anyway. Expense costs. First year, $31.1 million. Second year, $46.4 million. Third year, $53.8 million. Expense costs. Profit, first year we're going to lose $467,000. We're in the hole the first year. We're in the hole. Underneath the line. We're in the hole. Second year, $1.9 million. Profit. Third year, $3.2 million profit. And that's also incorporating paying back the debt for the loan, which I extended out for a 10-year period. Again, I'm not a financial specialist, not a tax specialist. I'm really good at crunching numbers. I'm really good at math, right? That's why I want to have this reviewed by a professional to let them pick it apart so I can revise it again. This is the 5th revision. There'll probably be 10 revisions before it's perfected, if it's ever perfected, right? Because only one man walked on water. I don't think any business plan is ever perfect. But it just has to be good enough for an investor to think it's good enough. And that's it. Right? First 6,000 members that sign up get a 1/1,000 stake in the ownership. You can do the math yourself. 1/1,000 is 0.3 zeros and a 1. So hypothetically speaking, if we did pull a profit of $3.2 million and your child has to graduate, which means they have to go through the program for 4 years. So hypothetically speaking, if we did like let's say we did a $10 million profit, just do a round number, bust out your calculators, multiply 10 million times 0.0001, and that would be what you get, right? 10 million times 0.0001, you have to be the first 6,000 members because it is a nonprofit. So there's no stock. So the only people that's getting stake is the first 6,000 members, which is also an incentive to get the first 6,000 members to sign up to gain that long-term wealth. Imagine if it becomes a $42 billion corporation. Multiply 42 billion times 0.0001. It's probably like $52,000 or something like that. That's $52,000 for free. Your kids might not even go anymore. Your great-great-great-grandkids might not even attend the Everett Center anymore. But you can hand it down like USAA membership. All right, so divided families equal higher chance of criminal activity, division in community, lack of support and love, creates confusion, can lead to depression or loneliness. That's via Children's Bureau articles of 2018. All right, it takes a village to raise a child. Even if you're not in a divided home, you're with father and mother, especially nowadays, I think everybody works long hours. So just because father and mother are home doesn't mean that they're home emotionally, supportively, right? And this isn't a knock on parents. I'm a parent too, and I'm far from perfect, trust me. So this program will also help me raise my daughter, to be honest with you. I think my daughter can also benefit from this program, which is also why I want it to be built before she's 9 years old, because I think it will help her. Our slogan and our motto, and I'm going to close out with that, is be great, because that is what you are. Thank you for tuning into my podcast. Every Wednesday we'll do this between the hours of 6 and 7 p.m. When I say between, I literally mean in between those hours, because I also work a 9-to-5 job, and I got to come home, I got to take a shower, I got to change, dress. I don't want to be looking all crazy. It literally sometimes, I try to take notes and I'm working on my podcast deliverance. So I want my deliverance to be effective and short and sweet as possible. So I also was writing notes and highlighting things I wanted to talk about in the podcast. So I started a little bit late. I'll try to start at 6 p.m., but between 6 and 6:30 we'll start every Wednesday. Spread the word, spread the gossip. Check out my website, www.edreccenter.com. If you want to know how to spell EdRec, it's right there. EDREC Center. EDREC Center, right? .com. So www.edreccenter.com. You'll see many links. Like the idea, sign the petition, click the link. It'll redirect you to change.org. Put in your email, sign a petition. I literally need those petition signatures because if I don't find an investor that wants to help, because they may not care about helping, the petition signatures will incentivize them to help because it shows that the community's behind me on this. All right? So be great, because that is what you are. Thank you. My name is CD, and this is my 41-page business plan for the EdRec Center. Peace, love, and happiness. Love is love, baby.